Yeah, we do have. We definitely have a younger team this year. We're mostly freshmen and sophomores. Um, they're very excited about the challenge of replacing the people that we lost. They're very excited to sort of get the chance to really contribute to the team and see what they're capable of doing. Um, they're enjoying competing. They're enjoying being together. They're really doing a great job also of building up the culture, making sure everyone is getting incorporated with each other, make sure everyone is remaining close with each other, really becoming friends. Because again, when you lose so many people, you kind of have to restart with that a little bit also, restart with the idea of we need a bunch of people who maybe don't know each other super well or maybe haven't sort of had the pressure on them to like be the core of a culture before, the centerpiece of what we're doing, sort of step up and start to handle that, and they've really risen to that challenge so far. Yeah. Audrey Karwowski is a great runner. She was ninth in the conference 2 years ago. Had a couple things going on last fall, but she also had a great track season, and I think she's going to step back up in a really big way and can be very competitive in this conference. Again, when you have a team as good as we had, it's hard to see that necessarily, but she definitely has a chance to be a very good runner. Yeah, our junior class, I think, is also strong. Elena Bishop and Annie Herman have both improved a ton over this summer. They're in the best shape of their lives. Starting out with our 3K time trial, they showed it. They both PR'd by about 20 seconds in the 3K, just stepping on the track again for the first time in 3 months. So there are two people that I also think can start to contribute to us in a way they haven't been able to in cross country before. Sydney Anderson is also, she's really important as a captain of the team. Someone who is doing a lot for us on the cultural side, but she's sort of the primary person that makes sure the younger runners are being brought in my mind. She's done a great job the entire past year of making sure the freshmen are getting involved, really reaching out to them, making sure they feel loved, making sure they feel supported, sort of helping them find their own friendships in the team and sort of create those relationships in the team. She's sort of the person who is, starting that process for most of them. Yeah, the sophomore class I'm very excited about. We also have two transfers coming in, one that ran for Grove City High School, one that ran for Westmont College, who I think are going to be able to contribute to us. At the start, the top of the class is Juliana Lindberg. She was 19th in the conference last year. We had a few women who had an off day, so she was able to finish our number 4 there and then just didn't end up competing for us at regionals. She also was one of the better runners in the conference in the steeplechase. She scored in the 800 and in indoor and outdoor and ran for us in the 4x8 at AARTFC. So she's someone with experience. She's someone with a lot of talent that I think is going to be a pretty high scorer for us immediately. But also Maggie Mollenauer and Abigail Nelson both improved a ton during track season. Abigail got down to 20:04 in the 5K. Maggie got down to 20:25. Abigail's another woman like Annie and Elena who PR'd by 30 seconds in our opening 3K time trial. One of the transfers coming in, Rebecca Berger, the one from Westmont College, I've also been very impressed with so far. She was a good runner there, but she's definitely showing fitness, showing like a lot of aerobic development through the last summer as well. And I think a lot of those women are going to be ready to step up into pretty big roles for us. Yeah, I think one of our biggest strengths right now is the fact that we are able to focus on the process so well. The women on the team understand that we did lose a lot in the last year. Our entire top 7 is not returning this fall from last season. Our top returner that we would have had is studying abroad. So we know that it's going to take some time for us to sort of develop into the team that we think we can be. They're doing a very good job at understanding that we are a young team, understanding we are a developing team, and really keeping their eyes on the future. Not just for this year, where we're going to still try to be as competitive as possible, but for next year also. Understanding it seems like we are in a good spot in terms of long-term development. They're all really buying into that and really buying into the idea of focus on yourselves. Make sure we're doing everything we can to be the best we can. In terms of still improving on things, it's just the experience to understand how to compete, I would say. I'm not sure that's a problem that is necessarily like reared its head too much yet just because we haven't gone to a meet. But I could definitely see the first time we go to a meet with some of the older teams in the conference especially, that we might get beat up by them a little bit and sort of feel like, oh, we're not like a good team anymore. But regardless of however that sort of happens, making sure that we understand that no matter what, we are staying positive in competition outside of like just the process of getting better, and staying positive, understanding that we don't need to be the fastest at every single facet of what we're doing. It doesn't mean we need to compete any less aggressively. We need to compete just as fiercely as we would have otherwise. It's hard to tell so early in the season on the women's side especially. exactly what every team is going to have. Again, it's hard to talk about our women because we're going to be a good team this year. But it's like you said, the women's conference is so good right now that it can be hard to feel like that sometimes unless you're a team that's like top 5 or 6 in your region, to be completely honest with you. Like I believe Geneva, St. Vincent, and Washington and Jefferson are going to be 3 teams at the top of the conference that have a lot of talent. I mean, national championship level, qualifying for that, I should say, All-American level talent on those teams. It's hard to compete with that when all of those teams have 2 or 3 people that seem like they're capable of that. So we're probably going to end up middle of the conference. And again, it's kind of what I said in the last answer. We just need to really make sure that we don't let that affect how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about competing confidently. Because we just have to understand those are 3 really, really good teams. We will do our best to try to go after them, get as close to them as we can, because we're going to compete to the best of our ability. But it is definitely a hard conference to be successful in right now. And we are really excited for the future, though. We're really excited for the youth of this team and the opportunity to be able to race people like that and get that experience this year.